We're going to start with the upper back. So you're going to place the foam roller down on the ground. We're going to roll from the bra strap. If you don't have a bra strap, I'm sure you know where they start. Upwards, yeah? So we're not going to roll out the lower back. Hands come behind the head, lift the hips off and just start to roll backwards and forwards. The key thing with foam rolling is that you take your time, you don't rush, but you also don't spend too long on any one particular part. Some people are really S&M about it and they like to kind of get aggressive, but all that's going to do, by the way, we're just rolling back and forth here, all that's going to do is fire up your nervous system and you're going to tense against it, which is obviously going to negate the benefits of this and you're really not going to loosen up. Okay. So I tend to not spend any more than 30 seconds on one particular body part. Now we're going to take it underneath the hips and we're going to work the glutes. So take the hands behind you, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, lift the hips slightly and tilt to the left so that we're working this whole left butt cheek. You're going to roll back and forward. Back and forward. So we're just trying to move over that part. That feels a little bit tender, yeah? And it'll be the top part, the glute med, and the piriformis area as well can get a little bit funky. If you move side to side, you might feel it. And obviously the glute max, okay? So all these sort of hip muscles, hip stabilizing muscles that work harder than you think. So we just want to roll to help create a bit more mobility. Other side. So tip, cross, ankle over thigh, tip over to the side. Sometimes you need to lift and move, and then we're just going to start to roll forward and back. You can put as much or as little pressure as you want. When you hit a sore spot, try to breathe and relax into it. So for me, on this side, it's quite tense in my glute med, that muscle at the top. So we just want to, I'm just going to hover over that part a little bit more. Oh, breathe. Yes, perfect. Okay, now I'm going to move to the back of my legs and my calves. So first hamstrings, these muscles here. Cross the right leg over the left, lift the hips and just start to roll back and forth. Back and forth. Breathe. Now what you'll notice that I've done is I've crossed the right leg over the left and that just adds a little bit more pressure. If you're really, really sore in your hamstrings, you might just want to go double leg, okay? And I'll kind of cue that when we do the calves as well. So just rolling back and forth and trying to just hover over that meaty part that tends to get quite a lot of adhesions. Legions? Legions. All right, cross, left leg over right, move forward and back. Oh my goodness. So sometimes you can really feel a lot of tension at the back of the knee. If you're finding it's too hard to hold yourself up in this position, just readjust, let the arms relax, and then come back in when you're ready. And hover over those sore points. Yeah, for me, this right side is quite bad, actually. Just gonna hover a little bit more over this right. Good, okay, now we're gonna do the calf muscles. So this area gets particularly tight if you're a runner or if you wear high heels a lot, actually. So let's just start with both feet on top and take the hands behind you, lift the hips off and just start to roll with both feet. Okay. So some of you are like, hey there, calvies, I can feel ya. And some of you are probably like, I mean, this is easier than watching Netflix. So if you're in the this is easier than Netflix family, you're gonna cross the right leg over the left. And you know, as soon as you do that, I mean, I already feel the pressure. If you feel like you're ready for this, lift the hips off. And then start to move back and forward. And here you will feel it a little bit more. I'm trying to be as professional as possible, but I can't hide the intensity. Now, the key here is really trying to breathe through this. If my nervous system feels like this is too intense and the pain is excruciating, remember, I'm just gonna tense up against it or I'm potentially gonna cause more damage. So I need to keep myself in that calm state where I'm sort of like, I feel the discomfort, I feel like I'm doing something, but I'm not aggressively tensing through this. then we're gonna try the other side, because that is, for me today, just so intense. I went for a run a couple of days ago and I can really feel it in the back of my calves and my Achilles. So I'm gonna cross the other side over. Doesn't mean I should avoid it. It means I should probably do it a little bit more. We're gonna go forward and back, but again, I really pay attention to how my mind, my body is reacting. Things like sweating, things like holding the breath. They're all signs that, again, the central nervous system is sort of freaking out a little bit. We need to stay in a calm state in order for it to relax. So just moving through. Good. So we've worked through the back of the body, yeah? We're gonna do a little bit more on the front now, the anterior chain, okay? So now I'm gonna flip over and we're gonna work on the quads. So coming down onto your foam roller, bring your forearms down to the floor and we're just gonna roll both legs at a time. Now, if you've just trained legs recently, this might already be quite intense for you. Yeah, if your quads are already, your thighs are already sore. So you might just wanna do this, and this is all you can take for the moment. If you feel like you can go a little bit harder, then what we're gonna do is make it single leg. So I'm gonna come off, I'm gonna move the foam roller to the side. Starting low, we're working our way up, never on the knee. And from here, I'm just gonna take one leg out to the side and move forward and back. Now, the more pressure I put in the opposite leg, obviously, the lighter it's going to be on the leg that I'm working. So if you come up and take a lot of weight in your hands and just move over the sore spots like that, it's less intense. Obviously, if you come down and you hold a position like this, trying to really tip that weight onto the quadricep, okay, then you will feel it a whole lot more. Okay, so the good thing about foam rolling compared to a massage is that you're capable of determining the pressure and sort of following the areas of tension that you feel. Now, pretty please, I do not want you to roll your IT band. So we're not going to be doing this side part. And the reason being is that so many people overdo the rolling of the IT band when actually the tension comes from other places and is of the cause of other things, yeah? So instead, we're just gonna stick to the quadricep and not work anything through the side. So let's do the other side. Stack, come down, and just start to move back and forth. Whoa, this right quadricep is a little bit sorer today. Just moving through. What you'll notice is that I keep it moving the whole time. I'm sort of doing little rolls. Some people like to do big kind of undulating sort of movements, but I find that that means I have to work extra hard, and I want to try to, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm trying to keep my mind as calm as possible so that I can really release into these muscles, yeah? I find that if I go too slow through the movements, it's just too intense and I freak out. So we're just keeping this sort of quick movement back and forth. Okay, and make sure that you don't neglect going all the way up into the top of the hip. I didn't really do it on the other side, so make sure you go back and do it if you feel like you missed it. But coming all the way up, right into the TFL, your tensor fascia lata. I always say tensor fascia latte, right? That's not even a funny joke. I don't even know why I laughed. Hashtag fitness joke, but not really. So that's the quadricep, okay? You want to go from the knee and work your way all the way up into this hip region as well, yeah, for that TFL. Also, this is one area that people tend to neglect, and if you're a runner, not even just a runner, if you play sports that involves a lot of running, football, rugby, tennis, I don't know why I'm struggling to think of other sports that involve running, but there's plenty. So you want to try to work on this anterior tib. Okay, anterior tibialis. It's this sort of outer shin. If you kind of just feel around now, you'll feel those areas. Now, they're involved in that sort of movement. So they get neglected very easily, but if you've been doing a lot of running, or if you've never done this before, you will feel it. One of the best ways that I find to do it is to take pressure into one foot, the other leg comes up, you're bent, yeah, in the knee. The foam roller is going at the top and it's working its way down and up. Okay, on that outside. Obviously don't go over the shin, over the bone, or it's gonna be too intense. Hands come down, you support yourself. We're just moving back and forth. If you work your way out to the side a little bit, you might feel even a little bit more that needs releasing. Some people find it's more intense towards the top of the knee. Some people find it more in the middle. Yeah? So just feel around for what's right for you. Let's do the other side, just so you get a bit of a better view. Foot comes down, hands come down to take that pressure, and I'm just kind of rolling back and forth. There is a way that you can do it with full extension. So obviously, all the way down here, yeah? But I just find that doesn't give enough pressure, okay? But it also requires that you're sort of in a push-up position the whole way through. So I kind of prefer to bring it up and work on it this way, yeah? You might look a bit crazy. You can also do a sort of double leg, but it's just, you need to have really good internal rotation so that you can get that outer part, yeah? Okay, so last but not least, this is the part that's probably the most intense. Actually, they're all kind of intense. Back of the shoulders and the lats. Now, I don't have very big lats, but some men do, and some women too. And so you need to roll all the way down. I tend to spend most of my time around the shoulders. Okay, so you're taking the foam roller down to the floor and you're gonna lie on top of it like this. Now my hand comes at a 45-degree angle and I'm just moving forward. Oh my goodness, forward and back. I did a lot of handstand work yesterday, and so all the muscles of my rotator cuff, the muscles in and around the shoulder joint, are so tight. Yeah, it's basically like a workout for those guys. All that shoulder stability that's required to do a handstand, a push-up, even a pull-up makes these areas really, really tight. So I'm just gonna start to roll back and forth. Some people I find have absolutely no tension there and they can put all their body weight on it by lifting their hips off. I find that too intense. Now what we also wanna start to do is maybe roll down so that we're hitting the lats a little bit as well. Okay, so you're slightly tipped onto your back here. As you come down towards the shoulder, again, you have to make sure that you're tipping onto your side as you roll back and forth. It's definitely been long enough. Let's do the other side. So flip it this way. You're coming onto your side. Your arm is at a 45-degree angle. If you go too high up, you're gonna miss those muscles of the rotator cuff. So you want to actually take the hand forward slightly and then start to roll from there. Do you see me close my eyes? It's because I was like, oh, I knew the pain, the intensity was coming. So we're rolling up and down. Make sure you're breathing through this, breathing through the intensity of the discomfort, keeping every other muscle as relaxed as possible as you do. Yeah, and never staying too long on one painful point, just keeping that movement. Okay, and that is how I like to foam roll. Go read the blog to learn more about foam rolling.